All right, let's talk about the future. In a world that's changing faster than we can keep up, there might be one skill that trumps all the others. And this piece of advice comes from one of the smartest people on the planet. It could completely change how we think about getting ready for what's next. So, let's dive in. So there it is, right at the top, learning how to learn. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? But this one little phrase could be the absolute key to navigating, well, everything. The future of work, of school, all of it. It's a huge claim.
So who on earth would make a prediction that big? And maybe more importantly, why is this idea so incredibly urgent, right here, right now? The answer tells you a whole lot about the wild times we're living in. Okay, so let's meet the person behind this pretty bold prediction. Because when you understand where he's coming from, you really get why this message is so critical. So this is Demis Hassabis, and wow, just look at this resume. He's the CEO of Google DeepMind. He just won a Nobel Prize in 2024. He's a neuroscientist, and he was a chess prodigy. I mean, when someone with a brain like that starts talking about the future, he probably ought to listen. So why this skill? Why now? Well, according to Hassabis, it all boils down to one thing: the absolutely insane speed of the AI revolution that's happening all around us.
And what's so wild is that Hassabis himself, a guy at the absolute forefront of this stuff, basically admits, look, predicting the future has always been tough. But now, with AI moving at a pace where we're talking about massive changes week by week, it's a whole different ballgame. It's almost impossible. A big part of this is the idea of AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence. So what is that? Well, to put it simply, it's the stuff of science fiction, right? It's the vision of machines that are just as smart, just as capable, and just as broadly intelligent as a human being. And here is the part that'll really get you. How far off is this future? Hassabis believes AGI could be here within a decade. Just 10 years. I mean, stop and think about that. That is an unbelievably short timeline for something that will change, well, everything.
So what that means for us is we have no idea what the world's going to look like in 2035. But if Hassabis is right, the one single thing we can absolutely bet on is that massive, world-altering change is on its way. Okay, so if you can't possibly know what specific skills you'll need for a job that might not even exist yet, how in the world do you prepare? And that brings us right back to his big idea. You need to master this essential meta skill of learning how to learn.
So what's a meta skill? Think of it this way. It's not about learning what to think, it's about learning how to think. It's not about just mastering coding or math or writing. It's the skill above all those skills. It's about figuring out how your own brain works so you can pick up anything new way faster. Basically, it's becoming an expert at becoming an expert. Yeah, we can actually break this down into some practical steps. Think of this as the new foundation for your career. First, you just have to accept it. Learning isn't something you finish, it's a constant. Second, you gotta get to know yourself. How do you actually learn best? Are you a visual person? Do you need to do it to learn it? And third, you use that self-knowledge to get really, really good at mastering new things on the fly. And trust me, Hassabis really doubles down on this. He's basically saying that lifelong learning isn't just a nice little resume booster anymore. Nope, it's going to be a non-negotiable part of your career. The world's just going to be changing too fast for anyone to just sit still.
But what kind of future are we actually learning for? Because it turns out there are two wildly different paths we could go down. And, the stakes are, well, they couldn't possibly be higher.
On one hand, you've got this incredible promise. Hassabis talks about a potential future of radical abundance, where AI helps us crack some of the biggest problems in science and medicine. Sounds amazing, right? But then there's the other side, the peril. A stark warning that this exact same tech could lead to, and I'm quoting here, obscene wealth for just a few companies and cause significant social unrest. And that warning, that didn't come from just anyone. It was voiced by Kyriakos Mitsotakis, the Prime Minister of Greece. He was on the same stage, and he kind of brought the conversation down to earth, focusing on a really immediate risk: massive global economic inequality. And his point is really simple and really powerful. He says that for this AI revolution to actually work for everyone, people have to see the benefits in their own lives. Personal benefits. Because if all they see is a handful of billionaires getting richer while they're stuck, they're going to get skeptical, and fast.
And that's a recipe for some serious backlash. So what are we left with? We've got a Nobel Prize winner telling us to get ready for a tidal wave of change, and we've got a world leader warning us about the social fallout, which brings it all back to the most important question of all. What do you do now? And here's the thing to remember. Neither of those futures is guaranteed. The utopian vision, the dystopian one, neither is a done deal. The future isn't written yet. What really matters, what's going to tip the scales, is our ability to adapt. And that brings us right back to where we started. In a world where machines are getting unbelievably good at learning, maybe the most human thing we can do, the most essential skill we can have, is to master the art of learning ourselves. So the question isn't just for some future generation. It's for you. It's for me. It's for right now. In this new age of AI, how are you going to learn how to learn?